guys, and welcome to my channel. So, you figured it out. You figured out they're a narcissist. Or minimally, you figured out you're dealing with a very, very toxic person. Perhaps you've even figured out some of their plans to stab you in the back. Maybe they haven't completed all the steps yet, or you know what they're about to do. What do you do? What do you do when you find out they're a narcissist? What do you do when you find out they're planning these attacks on you? How do you go about that? All right, because knowledge can be very powerful when utilized with emotional maturity. When we don't have that emotional maturity, it can be very dangerous. It actually could be life-threatening. It could be counterproductive. It can be self-sabotaging. You ever hear that expression, a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous? Or, people taking the knowledge but then utilizing it in a wrong way. That's why I'm making this video, you guys, because I don't want your knowledge about the narcissist, or, it could be literally the one that you're with now or the one that you just broke up with or whatever. You don't want to take that and let it end up going against you when it should be information that could be utilized to help you, all right, make better decisions or be in a better position or place, all right? So let's talk about that, you guys, because I definitely don't want it to be devastating or dangerous for you, all right? So emotional maturity allows for us to think before we speak, right? It allows us to consider the timing of things, the context of the situation. It allows for us to get into our critical thinking and determine, okay, now that I have this information, how do I feel about it? What do I want to do? What would be the best case scenario for me? Or what are the results that I would like to have given this information? Or, what's in my best interest? All right. But often what happens here is we get severely triggered if we're not in our emotional maturity, and we get very angry, and there's nothing wrong with getting angry, but then that could allow a person who doesn't have control of their anger, and even though we have moments, to do something reckless, okay? To be irrational, to be emotional. Now isn't the time to make knee-jerk decisions or to do knee-jerk things that could come back and bite you in the butt, all right? We want the information to be valuable, and emotional maturity will allow you to be able to see the angles and different variables involved and help you make intelligent, logical movements at that point, and not, like I said, irrational and emotional. All right. So, let me go down my list here. I like my list. I created some aspects of toxic pitfalls that survivors can fall into when this information hits their lap. I mean, the first one is pretty obvious. We can get very upset, and then that anger would make us make irrational decisions. We could out this powerful information that we know to the source, and as I go down the list, as a domino effect, is all going to be connected. But we could out it to them, and not keeping in mind that narcissists, they make moves based off of what they think you believe. So if they don't even know that you're on to them, they will be severely downplaying you and underestimating you at this point. Severely. But if you let the cat out of the bag, all they're going to do is turn up the fire on their attack or whatever approach they're going to have for you. So instead of you being prepared, or pretty much prepared based off of what you know that they don't know that you know, now they can go back to the drawing board and think of something even more harmful and negative to do to you to try to get you into submission, excuse me, or to just try to overpower you because, you know, they're sore losers, of course, and such. All right, so let me just go down the list here. But that is the first thing, flying off the emotions, you know, and the second you realize it, you might turn red and you be pissed off. Like after all of this, now you're really finding out some really shady stuff or something that they're planning to do. And it just makes you want to call them and curse them out, right? Make you want to go punch them in the face. Or have some type of negative conflict, negative supply that you would be giving them, and a heads up that you would be giving them. All right. So we have to definitely be able to think ahead in this situation. All right. And that's the first thing on my list. And it kind of ties into, or we could call it the second thing, because I said, you know, we don't want to get emotional and fly off the handle. You know, call them and curse them out and let the cat out of the bag. And it's kind of like that thing, not letting the left hand know what the right hand is doing, right? So in our emotional maturity, like I said, utilizing knowledge best from that point of view is going to allow you to be able to think ahead in this situation and not just in the moment. Because of course, in the moment, you're pissed off. Okay. So we're going to think beyond that moment of feeling very human, because there's nothing wrong with feeling these things. You know, it's natural. Of course, someone's betraying you. Someone's setting you up for something horrible. You're going to be pissed off. But do you have to act on that? Absolutely not. Are there ways to release that energy without actually going back to the source, without going and telling everybody else but them, and it still gets back to them, okay? There are other ways to deal with that frustration and to deal with that hurt, okay? Because chances are you're going to feel some of that too. All right, so that's the first thing on my list. Be able to think ahead, or basically second, okay? Be able to think ahead. The next thing is we need to be in an energy where we don't have anything to prove. And that helps us not have that knee jerk of needing to call that person, because now we're not considering the source. You know, we're going to call them and tell them like they're going to, you know, like their character is going to change all of a sudden, their morality is going to be different. No, we got to continue to consider the source and not have anything to prove, because a lot of us will feel manipulated, will feel bamboozled, like, oh, they thought they pulled the wool over my eyes. But if you have nothing to prove to the external, you won't feel inclined to have to do these things. You know, some of you may be very reckless and feel like you have something to prove on social media, put your business all out there and do all types of things that you probably rather not have done when you calm down off of, you know, the rage that you could be in at the time. Okay. So let's get in the energy of not having something to prove externally. All right. The next thing on my list is understanding the power of the upper hand. Like I said, what they don't know that you know. That's powerful to you. They don't know that you know this stuff. That is powerful for you. Once you tell them, you're even now. They know what you know and you've told them everything. And sometimes we want to vent because this person is such a toxic communicator. So a lot of times we'll want to vent and get it off our chest with them. Well, I know you did this. I know you're planning this. Guess what? It ain't going to work. And we want to say these things and let it be known. And it kind of ties into having something to prove here. All right. But now you're giving up your upper hand at the same time. You're like, no, I'm not. Because guess what? He's not, or he or she is not going to be able to pull this off with me. And I still call them out on it, kid. And what they going to do about it? What they going to do? Who going to stop me? Who going to stop me, boo? What this Sheree from Real Housewives of Atlanta used to always say, who going to check me, boo? Something like that. Something like that. And you're like, I still have the upper hand and call them out. Okay. Excuse me. You guys, we just always have to remember who we're dealing with, okay? The type of person we're dealing with. is so important. And then you might say, you know what? And I'm not telling you to have fear. This isn't about fear. All right. I want to make that clear. This is not about fear, but just acknowledging who you're dealing with. Okay. These people can be scrappy. They can also be cowards. You're right. They can be cowards, but this is more about de-escalating the situation. All right. And this is funny how this list is rolling into each other, because the next thing on here is considering the narcissist position and mentality. All right. So it's like you go approach a person like that. All they're going to do is probably punk out and deny. I ain't do that. What you talking about? Be like Shaggy. It wasn't me. Right. Or they might say, yeah, I did do it. I don't care. But what are you really accomplishing out of that that's positive? Okay. They're just going to be ignorant at that point and probably make the situation worse and probably try to ding you with some more offenses, and it's going to reactivate. You're already pissed off. So it's going to like bring you back to that energy. And they don't have nothing to lose at that point of dropping their mask. Okay. So, keeping the upper hand gives you the opportunity to actually blindside them. It does. But, in your emotional maturity, you would be able to understand that that could lead to a potential backlash, even when you do things in a quiet manner. And that's on my list as well. Being quiet about things or using less energy. You know how someone just figures something out and goes somebody like, you know what? That's what they're doing. That's what they're bringing to me. They ain't even worth another word from me. I'll block them for my whole life and they'll know why. And they might play dumb, but they'll know why, So my recommendation is always to use less energy, because that means there's less interaction and less drama. Okay. Don't be the tit for tat person. Don't be the tit for tat person. All right. All right. And then we want to manage our perspectives, because it's not about being able to say, I told you so to the narcissist, because they don't care. All right. So again, just keeping in mind the energy, the mentality, their stance and things. All right. Now, I mentioned this earlier in the video, but the emotional maturity would have you think about your goals. Okay. So my end goal is to divorce this person, or my end goal is to break up with this person, or my end goal is to not be their friend anymore, or my end goal, and just work on executing of that and leave the unnecessary stuff. So if I don't need to have arguments with you, I don't need to tell you I told you so. And then the emotional maturity lets us know, you know what, narcissists, they like to counter, they like to sabotage. So if I need to do a goal and I know information they don't know, I can make my moves silently and get myself set up silently, right? And by the time they really figure it out, I've already accomplished my goal. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm already out. I'm done. I'm good. So that is really a great way to stay, a great reason to be as silent as possible. All right. And I've made videos about using the power of silence, and I'll try to remember to tag them at the end of this one. All right. I'm just giving you guys some things to think about before you go and be knee-jerk. Don't be that person in life. Increase your emotional maturity where you can feel human. Okay, yeah, that disappointed me. That's a betrayal, or that's a letdown. And you can sit on it, and then, maybe just wait for the perfect timing. Like maybe the time to bring that up is in court and not to the narcissist. Don't forewarn him and the lawyer. The lawyer be like, do you think they know about that? Nah, they don't know. But you and your lawyer knows about it, but you kept it under wraps. So bam. You see what I'm saying? Learn the art of timing too. And sometimes the timing doesn't come. Timing says keep your mouth shut forever and just do what you have to do. But then like timing, like such as in court and stuff, okay? Or somebody might have already executed all their goals and they're walking out the door, and they're like, you know what? I don't care. I want to say this to them once and for all. And they could just get mad, but I'm done. I've already got my new place. I've already done this. I've already done that. but just understand, that can be inviting the conflict. All right. But at least, you've done that goal. But if the goal was to stay drama free and not leave somebody with that narcissistic injury, and now you don't know if they're going to try to do some type of revenge on you because of it. Okay. Be careful. All right. Trying to seek that apologize from someone who doesn't care. Sometimes that's another reason why we need to say something. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty good right there. I don't want you guys to be paranoid. I'm not telling you to walk on eggshells or anything. And I'm certainly not telling you to give them the benefit of the doubt. We just need to be careful. And like I said, once you figure out who they are, use your emotional maturity to the max, okay? The better and stronger that is, the better decisions you'll be able to make. And the more in control you are of yourself, the better, you'll be able to, do the things that are going to help you create the space or, get you out of that situation, okay? Yeah. So I hope that this video has helped someone. All right. We have to think before we act. We can't let our emotions run us. All right, you guys. Like I said, it can be very serious, and some things just aren't worth repeating. You might have found out, this narcissist did some illegal stuff, or you might have found out that they harmed somebody or took somebody's life. Like it can be all types of things that you could find out. You could have did a background check and found out they were under Megan's law, or they're a sex offender or some type of thing. Like, you could find out all types of things, and it lets you know the kind of person that you're dealing with. All right, you guys, please be safe first. Be safe first. All right, you guys, use your emotional maturity. All right. If you're in a situation and you're not sure how to think of a really good logical plan that's going to keep you safe, or give you the best case scenario, and you need help mapping these things out, I am a life coach, you guys. You can visit my website, lakiacrawford.com, to schedule your appointment. And I'm a general life coach, so I help people with all kinds of things. But if you're trying to heal from narcissistic abuse, a toxic relationship, understand the shadow aspects of yourself, and not only understand it, but tackle them and reprogram yourself, okay, so that you can start repeating cycles, to increase your emotional maturity, all types of things, you guys. If you've had a lot of toxic experiences and you haven't found your healing, I can help you with all types of things, all right? I do voice calls, FaceTimes, and I do email coaching because writing is very therapeutic. With that being said, you guys, it's a good thing that you have figured it out. But now what will you do? What will you do with that information? All right, you guys. So until next time, please stay safe. Please stay safe. Never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.